Hey guys, GPEX Alarm 101 here, and I'm on the phone with,
Safeman4202.
if you couldn't hear it, it's Safeman4202. The reason I have him in this test, one, he's a great fire alarm person, but two, we also set up a trade a while back, and I gave him a dialer, and he gave me the AS and the NS, so big shout out to him for that. Anyway.
No problem. I'm shipping you the NS cover too.
Yeah, and I'm giving him a sync module, so, just for fun. Anyway, just a couple changes have occurred in the system, not too many changes. I3 is still up, so is the 425120. I have the Mircom MS501 ADU over here by the control panel, and the annunciator's on the wall. So we're going to be testing out every feature of this today, as well as the fact that the LCD is working. So, you can see there, LCD works perfectly fine. That was something that I did since the last system test. Also, you're probably asking, why are you giving him a wheel-lock sync module if you need the wheel-lock sync for the AS and the NS? Well, I actually don't. I built it into the panel, so this thing can synchronize pretty much anything at this point. So I'm gonna start off. What should I pull first? The Mircom pull station or the 4251?
Mircom.
Mircom? Okay. They both take the B key, by the way. Kinda ironic. And Simplex services Mircom systems in the US, so that's probably why. Anyway, so here we go in 3, 2, 1. Ow.
That was so loud.
They have tape on them too.
Oh jeez.
They're set on low volume, both of them. But it's because of the back boxes, they don't fully cover the back of the alarm, so the sound comes out the back a little bit.
Yeah.
That was loud from where I was standing, though. I'm not wearing ear protection right now.
Wow.
I don't need it with the tape on, though. Like, it's not as loud in real life, but it's a lot louder when you're on the other end. So, all right, I'm gonna go reset the pull station. All right.
I didn't know that it takes the B key.
I did.
Nice. Well, I don't have any Mircom pull stations.
Most people don't. I just chose to have them because my middle school had a bunch of these particular pull stations. Anyway, gotta reset the panel. That's the one thing I don't like, is that my panel doesn't have re-alarm. It doesn't re-alarm for any zone. And that can be a good thing too, because like if the smoke detector set off if the smoke detector goes into alarm accidentally from like shower steam or something, I don't have to go in and silence the system every single time the alarm goes off.
Right.
That's the only good thing about it. Anyway, so I think I'm going to do the i3 next. I'm not going to test it with deodorant because I've tried and it doesn't work. Alright, here we go. Alright. Also, the control panel has pre-signal. So, I programmed that in, and you can program that in the settings in the control panel. I can go into the programming menu and just choose whichever zone I want to have on pre-signal.
Nice.
So that's a neat thing, and it counts up for a minute, but if it activates again within that minute, then it'll go into alarm. For example, I gotta silence this quickly, so. But if you hear that clicking in the background, that's the control panel.
Okay, well, I was wondering what that was.
That's what the control panel is doing. Because it has mechanical relays in there, so.
That explains it.
I like the mechanical relays. I think it's cool. Then again, I also like the solid state relays because they don't make a lot of noise, but the mechanical relays kind of gives it that DIY feel.
Right.
Kind of like the SXL EX does with Siemens. Their MXL and their Siemens doesn't do solid state. They just do the mechanical relays.
Yeah, and those panels are not user friendly.
You're telling me the XLS is awful. The XLS is the worst user-friendly panel I've ever seen. The MXL isn't as bad though.
Yeah.
The MXL is pretty nice. I'm actually kind of wanting an MXL because I have an addressable Siemens module. But anyway, let's see. I can reset the panel now. All right. I don't have anything on zone 4 because the annunciator's in the spot of the key switch. So I took the key switch down and put the annunciator up in its place. Because that's kind of what the key switch was there for. Was to reset the system. But I do have the 4251 on zone 3. I can go over and key activate that. Alright, here we go. Let's key activate this. I'm just going to reset that because it's loud and I don't need that in my life. Alright, and as I said earlier, I'm going to demonstrate all the functions of the annunciator. So, first, in order to demonstrate that, I need to put the panel in trouble because I'm going to show you that it can acknowledge stuff. So let me grab my screwdriver right here. I'm going to take out the resistor over here on zone 4. Now, I don't know if you can hear it on the phone, but it sounds like there's a stopwatch in the background. Can you hear it?
Not really, no.
Let me try and move you closer. How about now?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that's the control panel's treble tone.
Oh, no.
Anyway, but I can acknowledge troubles from here. You can see it says zone 4. Come on. Trouble's acknowledged. There we go. Alright, and it still displays system trouble afterward. Now, with the control panel, I've explained this in videos before, but once the LCD stops flashing, the problem is resolved. Now, if there were multiple troubles, it would scroll through the troubles automatically. But, I gotta get this back in. That's the awful part about this. Alright. Think I got it. Okay. But you can see that the screen stops flashing when the trouble's been resolved. It doesn't automatically reset itself. And that's a good thing in some ways because it keeps the user aware that their system's in trouble. Alright. Like, I'm not a fan of, like, with the MS2 going intermittently in and out of trouble for some things. Like, it'll self-reset when the trouble goes away, and then it'll come back later. Just pissing everybody off.
Yeah, the MS2s do that. It's like, I know sometimes you can actually set the MS2 to do what's called an auto-resettable supervisory.
Yeah. You can program certain zones to do that.
Right.
For water flow. Alright, I'm going to reset the panel because I don't want it displaying system trouble the entire time. Alright, so I've already demonstrated that it can silence and reset, but I can do a manual evac from the annunciator. That was weird. Had like a weird pause there for a second, but it's silenced, so. But yeah, the annunciator works well. It's a lot faster than some of the annunciators I've seen in the field. Like if you just talk about the simplex annunciators, man. Those take like ages. It'll say system silence requested for about 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes later, system silence completed. and then you'll go for system reset, and it'll take like an hour.
Yeah, well, that's what I think it's because it checks all the devices like twice.
Yeah, it double checks every device. If it's conventional with the 4005, it checks every zone twice, and it goes through like, is it in supervisory, is it in alarm, and it gives about like 30. It gives it about 5 seconds per device on an addressable system. So if you have like 300, like if you have 318 points, then on the addressable system, like a 4010, it'll take a long time to reset.
Yeah, I know the Simplex 4004 actually takes only 15 seconds.
Yeah. For them, 15 seconds is like lightning speed. Notifier takes like 5 seconds. Unless you get to the NFS panels, which then they go to the system initialization trouble. That takes a while. Because what they do is they say the system's reset, and then they check the devices.
Yeah.
So it resets the system, but then it checks the devices. So it basically doesn't, in the AFP series, doesn't indicate that it's happening, but it does it.
Right, exactly.
Now with my conventional panel over here, it doesn't check the devices, it just makes sure that before you reset it, that none of the zones are in alarm. And that takes like less than a second.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for next time. I won't be testing every single device every time, but this has been System Test 19, and I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been a little bit of a long one, but thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.